People often make a common mistake when using the compressor effect. They configure it so wrong that the effect does nothing for the audio. Understanding this is essential if you're working with a compressor. Let's say I want to compress the waveform on the screen. The recording might already have some effects applied, or it could be raw. Before using a compressor, I need to assess its current loudness level. This step is crucial, yet many beginners fail to do it. Looking at the waveform, I can see that it never exceeds -12 dB, meaning its peak loudness level is below -12 dB. Now, I'll apply a compressor effect and observe how it behaves. I'll be using the dynamics effect, which includes a basic downward compressor. There are different types of compression, but for now, we'll focus on this simple form. I'll start with the soft compression preset since it has the settings I need. In this preset, only the compressor is active. To demonstrate the effect, I'll set the threshold below -12 dB. When I play the audio, the compressor should activate based on this setting. The red bar indicates how much compression is being applied, but right now, there's no activity. That's because the threshold is too high, preventing the compressor from engaging. To fix this, I'll lower the threshold to around -23 dB, and now we can see some movement on the compressor's indicator. The compressor indicator only blinks when the playhead crosses a part where the compressor is active. However, judging the compression amount in this way may not be that effective. There's another way to check compressor activity using the preview editor. I'll enable it and move the configuration window aside to better see the waveforms. The top waveform represents the original audio, while the bottom waveform shows the compressed version. At first, the difference is subtle because I'm using a low ratio. To make the changes more noticeable, I'll increase the ratio. However, keep in mind that a high compression ratio, like 4.7, is not always ideal. I'm only using it for demonstration. Now, we can clearly see that the bottom waveform appears more uniform in height due to compression. You might think this change is due to the ratio alone, but the threshold actually determines whether the compressor engages. If the threshold isn't set correctly, increasing the ratio won't make a difference. To prove this, I'll raise the threshold above -12 dB, setting it at -10.4 dB. Now, the top and bottom waveforms look identical again because the compressor isn't active at any point. This highlights the biggest mistake people make when setting up compressors, not adjusting the threshold properly. If the threshold isn't set correctly, the compressor simply won't work. To set the right threshold, you must first check the audio's loudness level. For example, I'll normalize the audio to -3 dB using the favorites menu. After normalization, the loudness has increased, which means the threshold needed to activate the compressor will also change. Now, with the audio normalized, the compressor is working even at a -10.4 dB threshold. If I lower the threshold further, the difference in waveforms becomes even more pronounced. With a threshold of around -12 dB, the compressor is actively shaping the sound. Before normalization, a -12 dB threshold had no effect, but after normalization, it did. This demonstrates that loudness level plays a crucial role in compressor settings. The lower the threshold, the more the compressor engages. If I play the audio now, the compressor indicator will be active even with a threshold slightly above -12 dB. Understanding this concept is key to mastering compression. If any part of this is unclear, experiment with these settings on your own recordings. Rewatch this tutorial, and it will start to make sense. However, you should not set the threshold arbitrarily. There are certain rules to configure the compressor threshold, ratio, and all other settings you see. In subsequent videos, I will go into more detail about the compressor settings. I have several learning resources available for those looking to explore Adobe Audition more deeply. The Adobe Audition bundle helps beginners and intermediate users progress to an advanced level. It also includes presets that enhance recordings with a single click. I offer a separate advanced level course on advanced techniques for EQ and compression. The description will include all the links. With my presets, many people have improved their audio quality and even booked more voiceover jobs. If you want to learn these techniques, be sure to check out the links.